Peace family, peace family. Chef Joseph the Entrepreneur back at you again with another video. Chef Joseph the Entrepreneur back at you again with another video. And glad y'all can tune in today. I have a situation I just wanted to discuss. Today is Monday, June the 15th. Monday, June the 15th. And glad to know y'all doing well. Like and subscribe to the channel. Cool. All right. So I had debated a while if I wanted to kind of like touch on any of this subject because being in business, it's definitely a conversation for business owners as well as patrons, people who support businesses. And I'm guilty of it, myself. I mean, sometimes, you can have a bad day or a customer could like tee you off slightly. And then you find yourself, if you're not able to come out of that space, and then it's possible to transfer that energy to the next customer. Yeah, it's very possible. I'm guilty of it. I had to check myself at the gate many times, because the next person didn't have nothing to do with what the other customer did. So that's kind of the seesaw to this whole thing, because you have to always maintain a certain type of level, as a business owner, not showing favoritism, etc. To anyone, any color, any race, any creed. You have to be even, straight up, what I'm saying, across the board. And I wanted to talk to y'all about something. I had debated a while, like I have been sitting on this for days, probably like almost a week maybe, to see if I, decide if I want to really discuss this. But until this really hit home to me, when it really hit home, that's when it really became real, And I was like, you know what, I need to talk about this because because what I seen, it was like I felt like I was obligated to drop this particular information to this young sister. Okay, so what I'm about to say, again, I'm not taking sides. I'm just telling you from an entrepreneur standpoint. I'm telling you what I seen, what I witnessed. And at the end of the day, if somebody's not treating you right, then you should not support their business. So I had a video the other day about should you support others who don't support you. But this is kind of going in dealing with the Asian boycott, basically. Again, I'm not saying I have my own personal views about it, which are my personal views. But, that's that. But, at the end of the day, should you support others who don't support you, who disrespect you, etc. Okay, so with that being said, so there's a lot of this talk about Asian boycott. Again, I have my own stance on that. You know what I'm saying? I definitely believe as melanated people, it's time for us to build our own. That's real talk. That's not against anyone else. I mean, you have other nationalities coming in. They're building their own. You have, from Africans to Hondurans to Mexicans, everybody's building their own, but yet melanated people or black people are not building their own, at least for, I'm not saying a large majority of us, but a lot of us are not, you know what I'm saying? And so in my opinion, it should be a wake up call. So I wasn't going to talk about this, but as an entrepreneur and being in business, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a certain way that you need to treat people, honestly. If you're spending your money with people and you're taking money from clients and customers, you need to be treating them a certain type of way, okay? But when you look at this community, in particular, and I'm just going to say all the communities that have come into the country that have literally built wealth off of the backs of black people, period. I mean, it is what it is. Y'all know it, so that's just what it is. Am I upset about it? I'm not getting into my personal view. I'm not upset, but I can just tell you it should be a wake-up call, because we can cook, we can do a lot of things, and it's like, okay, I've been telling y'all, you need to wake up and start building for self. That's just what I'm saying. That's not against anybody else. That is what we need to do in our community. Okay, so I wasn't going to chime in on any of this, y'all. I was not. But when it hit home to me, I was like, man, I gotta say something, because what I seen, it actually, like, I frequent this same neighborhood or this same space, not this particular business, but I'm like in the path of travel of a lot of this, And so I was like, man, yo, that's pretty interesting, you know what I'm saying? Because you see it going on in all over the country as far as the Asian boycott. And again, I'm not promoting to boycott, and I'm not promoting not to boycott. But what I am saying is, when you're being disrespected by whoever the group of people are, you need to pull your money back. Period. That's it. That's all. And on top of that, if the relationship is not being reciprocated, then yes, you should pull your money back. You know what I'm saying? That's just with anyone. And y'all know that. So it's like, it ain't no shade thrown. But, if you've been here for years taken from a community, you know what I'm saying? What is the reciprocation? Like, what are you giving back? Because last time I checked, you got people that are being locked up in nail salons. You got people that are being beaten with broomsticks. You're getting a lot of things that's happening, because at the end of the day, a lot of us don't want to do our own. And at the end of the day, well, I don't want to touch nobody's nails. I don't want to touch nobody's feet. You know what I'm saying? Look, this is I don't know if $1 billion business, but this is a hell of a market that people are capitalizing on. But I don't want to do that. See what I'm saying? Okay, I'm going to leave that there. So I wasn't going to say anything about this, but until it touched home, I was like, you know what? I need to talk about this because as an entrepreneur, business owner, etc. I've seen a lot dealing with customers. I know how it can be dealing with people and different demographics and attitudes. And somebody said you did this and you ain't did nothing. That is just because I'm a black man or a melanated man behind a counter, and then they put two and two together. They assume that I'm the owner, alleged, or allegedly, or alleged that I'm the owner. And it's like, then all of a sudden here come the hate. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen it on both sides. So anyway, so I heard about this story that happened in Chesapeake, Virginia, about this particular hair store that and again, what I say, I'm not promoting to boycott or not boycott. But what I am saying is, if you're not being respected, cut off your dollars. Period. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is because people are building wealth off of us. You know what I'm saying? It's not being reciprocated, and not to mention the way we're being treated. And of course, you got I guess the Chow guy. I forget Jimmy Chow, or not Jimmy Choo, but anyway, the Chow guy. He popped pew pews or unalive someone in the back. You know what I'm saying? And walks up. So yeah, it's a conversation that must be had. I mean, honestly, just what it is. So again, I'm not taking sides. I'm just telling you that when this hit home for me, I was like, yo. And then I just took a ride just to see what happened. So let's tell you the story. So in Chesapeake, Virginia, I was in the area, and I ran across this story where there's a salon, a hair store called Coco Beauty Supply, and it was in Chesapeake. Now, again, this is alleged. I'm not saying it happened. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I am saying it made the news. So, Coco Beauty Supply is it's an Asian-owned hair store, and in Chesapeake, Virginia. And I had been in Tidewater for a minute, but I moved in and out different spaces, But I'm very familiar with this place, not because I went inside of it, but I'm familiar where the location is. And I know for years I've been seeing people that look like me in and out the doors, seriously, and a lot. And that's why I say I really get kind of a certain type of way, because I'm like, man, all y'all still spending money on this. Why in the HE double hockey sticks are you not doing for self or creating your own lane? But that's another conversation for another day. Again, I'm just telling you what I seen. So don't take issue with me. I'm telling you what I seen. So I heard about this story where there are alleged 3 African-American women or black women or Niji women or indigenous black sisters that were falsely accused of stealing. So apparently 3 melanated women got accused for stealing at this particular Coco Beauty Supply. And I guess they went in the store, and this is on the news, by the way, so it's not like I'm making this up, so you can check it out. So apparently they thought that 3 sisters or women stole something, and then they put their pictures up on a board or whatever they put in the store. So 3 other girls come in maybe a couple weeks later or whatever, and Basically, they came in to look or whatever, and I guess they walked up the sidewalk, the subway, which I've been to that subway before. And the manager of that subway, um, I think it's a Parkview Shopping Center maybe, but Coco Beauty Supply, Chesapeake, Virginia. So anyway, the manager of the subway calls security because I guess they had an alert on 3 black sisters or teens, they're on a wanted list or whatever. So these sisters get something to eat. They walk back down to Coco Beauty Supply, and then it's alleged that these Asian people held them and locked the doors inside of this business. That's kidnapping, straight up. You know what I'm saying? So when it was all said and done, they were not guilty. They weren't even the right people. They were the wrong people. You know what I'm saying? That's lawsuit material, straight up. Now, as a business, I'm speaking from a business point of view now. And so they locked these people in the store. Not cool. It's not cool at all. And then they find out that they were not it. So when I heard this story, I was like, I know where this place is. I know where this place is. Let me just ride by. You know what I'm saying? Because this big boycott has been going on for probably, I don't know, 2 weeks. I'm not really keeping up. But this boycott has been going on for a couple of weeks. And rightfully so. People are angry. People are angry how this 14-year-old young man got shot or pew-pewed in the back. And the man got off. You know what I'm saying? And on all that stuff. So I'll leave that to y'all to study because I'm not talking about that part of it. But I am just saying that it's not cool. It's straight up. I don't care how you look at it. So I'm just telling you what I saw. So I said, I know where this place is. Let me just ride back because everybody's been talking about this boycott. So, and I believe it. I mean, yeah, people pushing it to the max. You know what I'm saying? So I said, let me just ride by and see what I seen. So I rode by the Coco Beauty Supply, and just to see, like, I hear it, and whatever. But I said, let me just ride by and just to see with my own 2 eyes. So when I rode by, I didn't see anyone in the parking lot, but I seen this. So I can tell you that there was no one in the parking lot. Like, it was like a ghost town, right? I'm like, wow, this boycott thing is really working. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a lot of people feel a certain type of way. I feel a certain type of way, but I'm not here to talk about my views on it, but I'm just here to just share with y'all what I seen. So I looked around, there was like no cars in the parking lot. But basically, as I circled around, I seen this young sister coming out the door, probably about 16, 17, 18. And I seen her coming out the door. And I asked, we kind of locked eyes, whatever. And I said, this is a story that I seen. Was this on the news about a boycott or some things happened? And she was like, yeah, I heard something about it. And she said, but I just worked there. And I was like, in my adult mind, I'm like, work there. And I'm not promoting anything, like going against them or nothing like that. But I was like, working, what I'm saying? I was just worked there. And I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. Because I guess when I seen it with my own eyes, it just made me like really look at this thing. It's like, wow, that's kind of amazing because it was like actually nobody in the parking lot. So moving past that, but this particular store alleged, I don't know. I didn't write the ticket. I just know, according to the news, public information, that this particular place falsely accused 3 other teens, and then they were not the ones. Okay, so I don't know where that's going to go from there. So what are you saying, Chef? What I am saying is that you should not support people who do not support you. I'm not promoting a boycott. I know where I stand on the process in the process. But I just know that when you spend money with a business from a business owner's perspective, you should be respected. You should definitely be respected by by the people you spend money with. That's just it. And the people that you're taking money from, you have to show them the utmost respect. But this is what I've seen, and so I'm not saying it should work or shouldn't work. Like I said, I have my personal views, I sure do, but I will say that it's time, definitely should be a wake up call, and to start building, building your own stuff as an entrepreneur, whether it be white, black, Asian, whoever you are. You know what I'm saying? It's time to start building for self. You know what I'm saying? I've always been an advocate that, in my belief system is that, or in my belief that the Most High gives us all gifts. Don't matter what color you are, whoever you are, but at the end of the day, you should be capitalizing on what you're there to build. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's definitely, when I seen that, I was like, let me just take a ride by. I happen to be in the area. I don't live there, but I happen to be just passing through. I don't stay anywhere in that area. I just was passing through, and I just so happened to be seeing it. I was like, dang, I know where this place is. Let me just ride by. You know what I'm saying? And when I seen it, I was like, wow, they serious about that thing, because that's it. So whether they still open or not, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of different to see, a person like me coming out the door and saying that she worked there. And so excuse me one second. Yeah, and so yeah, and that was it. So again, this is not no type of nothing against nobody, but all I do know is if you taking money from somebody, you need to treat them with the utmost respect. That's what it comes down to. And it needs to be reciprocated. It needs to be a reciprocal relationship. If you're taking money, you make sure you're putting back into the community. That's it, that's all. I'm talking to myself about that. You know what I'm saying? It's different things. If people spend money with you, then you should be able to, give them a free something. I don't know, whatever it is on your menu. But Chef Joseph, entrepreneur, I just want to just tap in on that. And I don't have a title for this. I guess it'll come to me in a minute. But yeah, I think it'll be Should You Boycott? Should you boycott? And I guess we'll go there. So you have to make that decision. Should you boycott? You know what I'm saying? That's cool. It just came to me on the back end. But should you boycott? Is a boycott for you? Is it? I can tell you now. Let me tell you a real experience that I had. Let me tell you. Okay, here we go. Here's a real situation. This is what happened to me. Okay. This is nothing about the Asian boycott. This is about if you choose to or not, that's on you. But let me tell you what happened to me. Okay. Personal experience. Okay. So there is a Mexican restaurant that I had been going to for years. I'm talking about 3, 4, 5 years. And I think for a while, and I love their, I think it's the Poblanos. I don't eat beef, meat or anything, but it was like a seafood or a shrimp poblano, excuse me. And I look, regular customer, dropping tips, you know what I'm saying? But I had a personal, seemed to be a personal relationship with one of the waiters there. Older gentleman, we seem to kind of vibe. He's always good, glad to see me. I'm glad to see him. You know what I'm saying? Won't nothing against the food. The food is tight. Seriously. Love the food. Food was very good. And when I come in, he kind of know what I want. So I can sit down, he'll just know. You know what I'm saying? Very, very good. Okay. So I had noticed a couple of times, again, nothing against Spanish, nothing against Mexican at all. I love the food. But what happened to me caused me to really have to look inside of myself to see, does it come down? It comes down to my dignity and how I will allow people to treat me. Whoever you are, black, white, indifferent, you treat me a certain type of way, I'm out the door. It's no arguing. I ain't got time to fight. None of that. You bring it, you bring it. That's another conversation, but I ain't got time for that. I'll just walk away. You know what I'm saying? So what ended up happening was, every time I would come in, well, not every time, but a lot of times I would come in, I could just be sitting there by myself, for 15 minutes, and then other people coming in, they getting their drinks, they getting their chips, they getting all this on the table. And I'm just sitting there la-dee-dee, la-dee-da, you know what I'm saying? Just sitting there, okay? And this happened on several occasions. And it was when I come in, it's like people just form pale Voltron. You don't even see me. I'm just invisible. And I'm no chips, no water, Nothing but people being seated. And I'm like, I'm sitting here for how long? You know, I didn't say nothing. So when it kept happening, I just got to the place, I said, and I'm not gonna call his name, because I mean, I think overall he's a good waiter. He's good at what he does. We've had years of building a rapport. But at this point, it's like when I come in, I'm not expecting the red carpet to be rolled out to me at all. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. But at least somebody acknowledge. You see the man sitting there. Do you want some water? Something, So what happened was, so what ended up happening, I told him, I was like, and I told him what had happened. I told him like twice. This happened one time before. I let it slide. And then it happened again, maybe three. I let him know, like, I gave him preamble notice that this was happening. So the last time I came in there, and that's been over a year ago. Like, it's been a while. I told him what had happened. And this time I was teed off because I had already told him at least 2 to 3 times what was happening. And it was like, okay. Show's over. So this last time, man, I was like, I was done. I was like, yo, this happened to me again. So I'm not asking for anything for free. I asked him, did he see what was going on? He said, yes, he see what's going on. He told me he seen what was going on. That means he acknowledged it, okay? I said, so for this happening on multiple occasions, I've told you this before, can you at least make it right? Can you give me 10% off? Can you do something? That's it. Something. I didn't say give me the meal for free. I didn't expect the meal for free. But at least if you know this person, you're regular, they take care of you, at least you can do something for them. Just saying. I'm looked at like a duck in high weeds. Like, and I told him, I said, if my business is worth something to you, you know what I'm saying? With you, me, you. If my business is worth anything to you, will you make it right? It was kind of like that. I said, you know what? Okay. I paid for my tab in full. I never went back. Never. Have I thought about it? Thought about it, but never tempted. I don't care who you are. If you disrespect me, I'm not spending money with you at all. The spirit just left me. Out of all the years I've talked to this person, I ain't talking about one weekend coming in. I'm talking about 2, 3, 4 days a week type thing. And if my business does not mean anything to you, I'm not coming back. Not going to talk about the name of the restaurant. I think they have fabulous food, but just know that's my personal experience. And I said, you know what? I'm done, from this situation. Nothing against any other Mexican restaurant. I love Mexican food. I've cut back. I eat hell of a lot, actually, because I got my own stuff going on in a good way. Plus, I'm a chef. I can cook and stuff like that. But when I seen that my money and my dollar was not being respected, not to mention how I was treated, what would that say about me to go back to a place, no matter what restaurant, Olive Garden, you name them? What would it say about me? Am I that hungry? Am I that desperate that I have to have your dollar? I mean, did I have to eat here? No. Look, I come from the country. I can eat potty meat. For those of y'all who know what that is. But anyway, that's my personal story. Nothing against that restaurant, but I can tell you I'll never go back. I'll never go back. I'll never go back. I can't. My spirit won't allow me. So for all across the board, if you're spending money with people, make sure you're being treated right. And if you're not being treated right, make sure you talk to the people, whoever they are, and let them know you're not being treated right. If they don't respect your decision or your voice of opinion at that point, cut them off. That's it. So I'm out of here. Should you boycott? The decision is yours. Chef Joseph, the entrepreneur. Like this video. Again, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, it's all great. It's all great. It's all gravy. All right, I got to roll. Peace out. Thank you.